All right, one of the trickier topics we cover in grammar. When to tell if something's an adjective or an adverb. This includes some really commonly confused words, such as when to use good versus well, bad versus badly, and real versus really. So let's spell them out one at a time. First, whenever we use good, we always refer to it as an adjective. Basically, the only time we talk about good being anything other than a describing word as an adjective is if we're talking about good like the common good. The only time somebody does good is if they're trying to be a superhero or a law enforcement agent of some type. Otherwise, we have to think of good in that sense. Good as a noun, as the opposite of it is evil, not good as the opposite of bad. We use the word well as an adjective only when it means healthy. We'll talk about that more in the next slides. Otherwise, well generally speaks to the high quality of an action. It's an adverb. It's going to describe the verb as opposed to describing a person, a place, a thing, or an idea. The word bad is always an adjective. Michael Jackson accepted, bad is always considered an adjective describing a person, place, thing, or idea, whereas badly has to do with the poor quality of an action. Real is always an adjective, and really is actually an adverb because it's an intensifier. You can replace it with very, which actually makes it perhaps the easiest of this whole list to figure out. So how do we use them? Well, first find that word that you're not sure about, or the one that needs to be changed. Next, we get into substitutions. My classes here often how I talk, commenting on how vocabulary and grammar, in many ways, they're kind of like algebra. If you're trying to find the best word in a sentence, treat the word like it's a variable and realize there's many values for that. If you have a verb, there are many possible verbs. Some are action, some are linking, some are descriptive, some are bland. Same thing's true when we're talking about grammar. If the part of a sentence is supposed to be an adverb, then you have all these possible adverbs to choose from, and it's simply a variable. In this example, from this lesson, it's the same concept. If you've got a spot and you're trying to decide between good and well, those are the two values, if you will, of that one variable in that spot in a sentence. So a sentence is essentially an equation. Well, let's figure out how to do it. Try to decide between good and well. First, use well only when, as an adjective, when the word healthy fits in a sentence. And quite honestly, healthy is probably a stronger word choice than using the word well. Again, only use good in the sentence unless it's describing an actual thing or person or place or idea. If you draw an arrow to a noun, again, the only use of good should be when it's used as the opposite of evil. Outside of that, use the word well. Well is going to be coming after an action verb in particular. Use bad only when the word ill works as a replacement. You can try sick as well, but if ill works in that place, then we're great. Badly also can work when poorly works in a sentence. If poorly works in a sentence, it works well. Again, bad and badly, good and well, real and really, they're so commonly used, that's why we get confused. We've used them incorrectly for so many times and so many years that it's hard for us to hear the difference. For real and really, again, that's probably the easiest of this set. Simply put, when trying to decide if the word very fits in that spot in a sentence, use really. Otherwise, you use real when a synonym like genuine or actual might work instead. Example, you did good. Well, good here only works if we're talking about good as in the opposite of evil. So again, synonyms, even antonyms, are the same part of speech. So if you did evil is the opposite of what you meant, not just different than what you meant, then you did good is the appropriate choice. Otherwise, since we have an action verb did, and did what or did how, then we're looking for, in fact, an adverb. So you did well. Again, to do good sounds like you're some sort of superhero. And maybe you are, or you're one in training. For right now, you did, in this case, something well. All right, get to it. Again, don't overthink it, but take your time. If there's ones you confuse a lot, use the tricks and especially the substitutions to help you figure it out. Good hunting.